Network Studios here in Royal Oak, Michigan. Welcome back to Odd Musings, and we are your hosts, Brett Pinson.
And I'm Scott Zambelli.
And we're back live for a Viewer Takes Over show. So let's see if anybody wants to take over today. If not, we always got stuff to talk about.
We got plenty to talk about.
And we are joined in studio today by a different engineer. Dominic has bailed on us as usual, except he did it in person this time, which he's not in person, so he's gone. And now we got Jay Nalu, right?
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
How's it going, Jay?
Great. Wonderful to be here with you guys.
Awesome. Glad to have you here. Dominic is on his way to New York.
New York City.
New York Comic-Con.
He's going to get salsa. Come on, let's go. I want some salsa. That New York salsa. I've seen them in commercials.
I think his salsa is 120 proof.
Yeah. It's that Bloody Mary salsa.
Yeah. But so he'll be set up at New York Comic-Con at the Javits Center.
Javits Center, yeah.
Which will be Thursday through Sunday.
Yeah, it's coming up quick. There's a lot of setup going on. I saw people I know on Facebook that are big, like Chris Rupp does a lot of stuff out there.
It's a great show. I've done it in the past. I haven't done it in a couple of years just because it's it's a highly involved logistical show to do. So
yes.
I prefer going to the smaller shows, a little less stress. But it is an awesome show. It's basically like doing San Diego Comic-Con. It's right up there as far as size and
that's what their original goal was, to be the East Coast version of San Diego.
Right.
And they definitely, I think, have, because they've got a lot of following. They added the Harvey Awards as something now part of the New York Comic-Con. Used to be part of Baltimore.
Yep.
Where I believe San Diego, they have the Eisners.
Right.
Stuff like that. So, and then they have a lot of other stuff. And being right in New York is right where the publishing houses are for DC and Marvel. So they have a lot of contributors from that, too.
Yeah. So if you happen to be out there this weekend, look for Dominic. He'll be in the Mess Bucket Comics booth in the, I forget what they call it. It's like independent publishers or small press. I forget what they call it there. But he won't be in Artist Alley. He'll be in the publisher section.
But if you look on Facebook for Mess Bucket Comics, you can find him on there. Yeah. Before we get started, though, we just wanted to comment real quick. This has been a rough week in a lot of ways. But our hearts and prayers go out to everybody with everything that's happening in Las Vegas. And I know I've seen some comments. People are complaining about people saying hearts and prayers. This is the most I can do right now. We're with you guys. We're Vegas strong has become a big thing. And anything happens, everybody becomes strong. It's a sad thing. We're not going to get into it, but for the next hour, let's have some fun. Let's forget about our troubles in the world and just enjoy some odd musings.
That's right. And then as far as everyday life goes, today is actually a happy day in my family.
Happy birthday. Okay, so what I can do before I get sued.
My daughter, Ashley, she is turning 18 today.
It's a birthday.
Yeah.
It's a birthday. She's 18.
Yep.
She's got a job.
She does have a job, yes. So anyways, happy birthday, Ashley. Love you. And
happy birthday,
proud
Ashley.
of you for every day of these last 18 years, and I'm sure the next many more.
Yeah, happy birthday. I like you a lot.
Caspian said I had to.
Yeah. So, a lot of fun stuff there. And we were talking off air before we got on, and a lot of new shows. We talked a little bit last week. Last week was premiere week. Still kind of going on. Like, I know Once Upon a Time starts back up this week on Fridays. Show I found the last few years. They're changing their format, so it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Scott just recently got into a show I was into last year, The Good Place, and you got caught up on that. And
Yep, enjoying that. Their season premiere was actually
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago was their season.
They started a little bit early with a 1 hour, 2 episode premiere.
Yeah, we had The Exorcist, and we had Gifted, which is the X-Men universe.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that and the Inhumans a little bit later.
Yeah. So,
of course, we've been following the Orville.
The Orville and Star Trek Discovery. Brett's up to date on that.
Yeah.
And then, so later on, we're going to be opening up the phone lines. And when we do, if you want to talk about any of these shows or any shows you're watching or any other topics.
If you have questions for us.
Right.
Today's, we got some questions we'll get to in a little while from Janice. And we're going to be talking about her a little bit and making fun of her. No, we're not. We like Janice. She's a lot of fun.
Making fun with her.
Yeah, with her. She's awesome. And you can learn when we talk about Janice how you too can have odd musings at your wedding.
Indeed. And then there was some sad news too. Of course there was Vegas, but in the celebrity front, we had the passing of 3 major celebrities.
Yeah, and one definitely a surprise.
Yeah, Tom Petty.
2 is a surprise at the same time. It's like, okay, but yeah, Tom Petty passed away.
Yeah, he was 66.
Yeah, and that was a shock. It sounds like he had a heart failure, heart attack, and
cardiac arrest.
And he just came off a tour, his 40th anniversary of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, and it's hard to believe it's only been 40 years. I mean, I know it's a long time, but it doesn't feel like it's been long enough. And then it's like I thought they were together even longer, but
right. Yeah, and prior to the show actually starting, the 3 of us here, Jay, Brett, and myself, we were talking about Tom Petty and just what an impact he had on music and everything. He was there at the start of the MTV movement, and when MTV actually played music.
Well, he was early adopter of actually doing basically videos that were stories,
right?
And they were tied around his songs and different things like that. I mean, my favorite is when he did the whole Alice in Wonderland and
that Last Dance with Mary Jane, or which song was that? Do you remember?
I'm not sure.
I think it was Last Dance with Mary Jane.
Yeah, I think it was that one.
See, I start throwing these titles out, I'm going, oh, wait a minute, now I'm going to blank and I'm going to get it wrong.
That's okay. But yeah, he was great. Oh God, what was the? And now I'm blanking. What was the one? He had the car, and I can hear it in my head.
You don't know how it feels?
That was a good one.
Maybe. I'm blanking. I'm bad. But I have an excuse. My brain always goes on me. But
I got hit.
He was just awesome
years ago. So
awesome all around. So that's going to be felt in the music world for sure. His passing, and then we had Hugh Hefner. He passed last Wednesday after our show.
Yeah.
Just culturally speaking, he whether you loved him or hate him, there's no denying the impact he had on society.
We're not going to get into that debate, of course, but there was a lot of impact. I think there's a lot of positives. There could be some negatives. I mean, we can all look at it from every viewpoint. I know one of the things I saw was a couple older cartoonists on my Facebook had posted that he basically, with the magazine, having cartoons in them, not just scantily clad women in pictures, but he had a lot of cartoons, saved the careers of several people that, in the 50s, everything was changing at time, just like it is now. Right. Everybody was going from reading magazines and going to the movies to staying at home and watching TV, and they were still reading magazines, but they weren't reading as much as they used to.
Well, with him too, what's amazing is how he started it. It was an $8,000 loan. I believe he borrowed it from his parents, or he was still living in their house. And with $8,000, he put together the first issue, and he paid. Well, I didn't realize this. Marilyn Monroe is in the first issue.
Yeah.
Those weren't actually his photos. He bought the rights to the photos from another photographer who had the rights.
Right.
So he didn't. Those pictures were not taken specifically for.
No, because they were taken several years earlier.
Correct.
And
I didn't realize that. Yeah. So he had the insight to say, okay, if I really want to launch this, I need to find a celebrity, somebody people will care about, to put on the cover, and so a part of that $8,000 investment was buying those photos to put in there. So,
and that's a magazine, and it sold out very quickly, the first issue.
Right, but to go from an $8,000 investment to this global empire he created, quite amazing.
And within a short time, it was like within a year, he was a multimillionaire. Yeah, and this is in the 50s, when $1 million was $1 million, and nowadays, $1 million is like, okay, well, it's $1 million. That's more than I have, but
yeah. So that's another icon. And then the third one was Monty Hall.
Yeah. Now I'm a fan of the Let's Make a Deal. Back in the day with Monty Hall, I loved the ones that used to air, and then I've been watching the last several years the Wayne Brady one on CBS.
Yep.
And Monty's been on a couple times. In fact, it was just a couple weeks ago I was watching, and they mentioned a woman asked if she could have the Zonk if it was a Zonk, because it was gonna be this little like nesting doll.
Right.
And so he goes, oh, well, Monty Hall's up in the control room, and he says, yeah. So, so he was still executive producing that episode. I don't know how often he was actually there, but I know he was on the air a few times with them.
Right.
And they did anniversary shows. So he was, and then reading on him, it looked like he, just like Hugh Hefner and Tom Petty, it was like a heart attack or something that finally took him. I mean, I guess these icons, they got to be just taken out heavy.
Yeah. But, these both Hugh and Monty were both in their 90s, so they had definitely had full lives.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't think either one was going, I needed 5 more years because I hadn't accomplished everything they ever wanted to accomplish.
Well, Hugh Hefner in particular, I understand his last few years in particular, he's had a lot of health issues. He was having trouble walking.
Yeah.
He was using a walker. He was looking very frail. But people were saying in the interviews this last week how even though he was getting frail, he was still hosting he had a movie night.
Yeah, he still had the movie night and still come out for that. He wasn't getting out and about as much, but it's still everything and he sold the mansion though to his neighbor. The neighbor's going to redo the mansion to make it look like it used to.
Yeah, the stipulation when he sold it was he gets to live out his years in it. That was the stipulation to the sale.
And then I don't know who the neighbor was, but definitely a rich guy because he paid like $100 million for it. And he said he's going to renovate the place. It's going to be back to the glory that it was back in the 60s and 70s.
The glory.
Yes.
So
I wonder if we go back to having the parties,
Yeah, but will it be the same? I don't know.
Well, Hugh won't be there, so who knows? They could always lend him though, and just put him in a glass case, and he's always there.
I don't know.
And once a year they go and just touch him up with makeup. So, but for those that are alive and kicking on like Hugh Hefner, and you're looking to be a little bit happier, healthier, and a little bit more with your wellness, we've got Loringer Family Chiropractic as one of our sponsors. And Loringer Family Chiropractic Center, PC, they take great pride in providing the finest chiropractic care to each and every patient. Loringer Family Chiropractic offers on-site digital x-rays, massage therapy, orthotics by Foot Levelers, Young Living essential oils, aromatherapy, a full line of vitamins, and a family-oriented environment. Give them a call at their Belleville location, 734-697-4244. That's 734-697-4244. Located in Belleville, Michigan and Dexter, Michigan. And if you're nowhere near the area, get a hold of them and say, hey, who's near me that's just like you guys? Because they know chiropractors everywhere. And we also have a link on our website at oddmusic.com for LoringerFamilyChiropractic.com. And as y'all know, I'm a patient, and Scott's been taking Ashley.
Yeah, Ashley's been going there.
Moved on to the every other week maintenance.
Yes, their care for her has been helping, and her back's been feeling much better. And we've moved past the weekly visits now to an every other week visit. So we really appreciate that. And it's a little bit of a drive for us, but it's worth it. It's about an hour drive.
Yep.
But going along with what you said during the ad read was, we're going there for for her getting fixed up. But once we get out of that phase and we get into the maintenance phase, we're going to have Dr. Loringer is going to move us over to, she's going to get us a chiropractor in our area.
Right.
And recommend someone there. So we've been talking about that already, but we love the care we're getting down there, and it's definitely worth the drive.
And even if you're not looking for chiropractic, they have great massage therapists there that are really good, and they do a lot of other fun stuff there that really are all about wellness and being good.
Check them out.
Check out Loringer. Definitely loving them guys. So now we are, the phones are open, so you guys can give us a call. Sky, if you want to give that number out.
Yep, it's 248-721-8570. So feel free to call in with whatever you want to talk about. I posted it in the thread too on our live feed. And but in the meantime, let's talk a little bit too. This past weekend, one of our friends, listeners, fans, whatever you want to call it,
super fan
Janice and Roy, they got married this weekend.
Well,
and they had a really cool.
They kind of got married.
Well, yes,
she announced it, so it's public knowledge now. They've been married for a year.
Yes,
and they threw this awesome ceremony strictly to get Scott to dress up as a stormtrooper.
Yes, no, but as they announced, it was a year ago. They actually got married, but it was a private ceremony, and they threw this wedding ceremony here, and they called it the Return of the Vows.
Yes,
and it was a full Star Wars themed wedding, and this was held to benefit all the friends and family who didn't know they were married, didn't get to see it the first time. So they did this really cool.
I thought it was really cool. They got a chance to celebrate with everybody they care about and me.
Yep.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and beautifully done wedding. It opened up at the Redford Theater for the wedding ceremony itself. The Redford Theater is a beautiful place. It's a non-profit theater, fully operated by volunteers. It's a volunteer
it's an old classic theater that's been around for a very long time. So,
and then what they did is it was an old theater, and when they went through and renovated it, as they were like stripping down the new decorations, the newer things, and they were finding the original stuff behind the walls, they renovated everything to be back to that original look, and it's just gorgeous. And when you're inside the theater, it actually looks like you're outside. The walls are made to look like the exteriors of buildings, and the ceiling is painted like a night sky, and they even have little LED flickering lights to simulate stars up above.
Oh, that's very cool.
Really gorgeous. I can't say enough about it. The staff there was great, and if you get a chance, if you're in the Redford area, check them out. They let's see if they have a website. I'm sure they do, but they have all these different film festivals that they do, and I'm not seeing a website, so look up Redford Theater.
The Redford Theater. They're on Losser Road in Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah, and some highlights you pointed out.
Oh, here we go. RedfordTheater.com. It's right over in the corner.
Where is it?
It's in the corner.
Oh, geez,
we
that's
both
tiny.
have one to look at for those watching Facebook Live. So. And I have my glasses on, so I can see. I don't know what Scott's problem is.
But just to highlight some upcoming films that they're doing, they're going to do Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
And they got Butterbeer's back.
Yeah. Oh, they're doing Halloween, John Carpenter's Halloween on October 28th.
Oh, that's very cool. That's very cool.
And Psycho on October 27th and 28th.
We'll have to talk about Halloween a little bit, too. You heard they're going to do a new movie, right?
Jamie Lee Curtis coming back for that, isn't she?
Yep.
Oh, they have a Labyrinth.
They're doing a fun Labyrinth with a theater troupe doing shadow casting.
Yeah.
Home Alone, Christmas Story. So they got a lot of cool Christmas ones coming out in December.
Elf. Gotta watch Elf.
If Maggie's listening, hey, you have to come down to the Redford Theater. Of course, I won't be in town that weekend. I'll already be gone.
And Janice, if you're watching the feeds on the Facebook Live, Janice is posting some links to the Redford Theater that you can find them on Facebook at Redford Theater and on their website.
You know, it's a cool theater, and you were talking about the organ.
The organ was awesome. So when we get there, the organist is playing Star Wars themed music, but also other. It wasn't just Star Wars. It was Indiana Jones, everything else. If you got to wave us down because the calls come in, just interrupt.
And again, nobody's calling.
But it sounded gorgeous on that organ. You know, when they played the Indiana Jones theme song, and I believe I heard Superman, and then tons of Star Wars too, which was always awesome.
I think it's cool. I've not been to the Redford Theater, but the Michigan Theater in Ann Arbor has an organ also. It's an older organ. In fact, one of my former professors at Eastern Michigan University when I studied film was Dr. Henry Aldridge, and he played it for many years, and they even still play it.
Very cool.
Because I know he's still in the area, so.
Hey, Rodney, how's it going? Rodney Fike is checking in. He's driving today, and let's see, where are you going? Oh, you're heading out to Columbus today. Well, thanks for checking in, Rodney.
What's going on in Columbus?
Let's see. All right, so
we Redford Theater. So we had the wedding.
We had the wedding. Oh yeah.
Now I wasn't at the actual wedding ceremony. I came to the reception because that's where the food and the cake was, and then I knew Janice and Roy would show up, but I was more interested in the cake. But
the cake was beautiful. It had AT-ATs in the frosting.
It was a space battle. It was a battle. They had Millennium Falcon. They had Star Destroyers. They had X-Wings. And it was all done in white. So it was basically like a battle on Hoth.
If you just looked at it casually, the cake, it looked like a beautiful wedding cake. But then when you look close at the details, because they were very subtle, but once you knew they were there, you could see them clearly.
Yes.
And it was very well done.
And the topper was really cool, like a metal sculpture almost of flat of Leia and Han, and it said, "I love you, I know."
Even their bouquets during the wedding, they were lightsaber handles. Then they had the flower bouquets on top, and inside they had little Lego figures. So Janice, as the bride, was carrying the bouquet that had a little Han and Leia in it, with little things that said, "I love you, I know." I don't know if they were all the same, but the one I saw for one of the bridal party, she was carrying one with a stormtrooper in it, a little Lego stormtrooper. So it was just so well done.
And for our place cards, when you come in, you had to come up. It was actually a Lego stormtrooper on a little stand and had your name on it. So it was a nice little takeaway gift too. But it was pretty cool to tell what table to be at. I was tied in with Scott at the 501st table.
Yep. Yeah. So after the ceremony, we went over to Corsi's Banquet Hall.
Corsi's, yes, and, over in Livonia on 7 Mile.
Brett was there. He got there before me because he went straight to the reception. And so Brett was there. there, and then me and Al, we were in our Stormtrooper gear, but we also had Darth Vader, Chewbacca, Boba Fett,
a Scout Trooper,
Biker Scout, and then us two for the Stormtroopers there. Seemed like everyone had a blast.
It was I think everybody had fun. They loved seeing everybody come in. Janice did a great job with the intro for the wedding party. They had a group of people come in with the lightsabers and basically they were swords and had a awning made from
they had this like extended bridal party, and that was the company, the bridal party, and they were called the Royal Guard.
Yes.
So they marched out first and formed a tunnel with lightsabers, and then and that's how everyone entered. But I think everyone really liked it once Lord Vader actually came in,
right?
And then Chewie.
Yeah,
also.
and cool thing about these two from the 501st here in Michigan is they're both very tall naturally. So
correct. So
they're big presence walking in. I mean, you got Chewie walking in, and he had to duck a couple times.
Yes. And what's cool is they both can do the voices well.
Yes.
So our Chewie can do the roar, and our Vader, he's just. Our Vader is awesome. He's we got two really awesome Vaders.
Yeah.
But this particular Vader that does the Janice's wedding, he does the voice really well. So, and he has funny comebacks a lot too. So he was a blast.
Yeah, everybody had fun taking pictures with them because they got there before everything really kicked off, and then they went out and came back in, and that was a lot of fun. And then I did like the juggling act at the beginning with Roy.
Yes, Roy was showing off some skills.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was a juggler, and then found out they were in the that Return to Oz movie. Not Return to Oz, but it was the Oz, the Great and Powerful.
The James Franco one.
Yeah. I wish they would, and they both said that, well, they were in it, but you can't really see them. And I'm like, man, I would have enjoyed that better than I did that whole movie.
I didn't mind that movie. It got kind of...
It was okay. But
Franco, I didn't mind it. I didn't say I loved it.
I'm not a big Franco fan. I mean, he's all right. Actually, I like him in the new show, The Deuce.
I like Franco America. SpaghettiOs.
No, God, those are gross. They're disgusting. Scott, we'll be talking about food here in a second because Janice had some questions for us.
Yeah, so just a reminder, everyone, we are allowing you, the listeners / viewers, to chime in. So either post questions in our feed or call in. But Janice had posted some questions.
Yeah.
So she had posed one to both of us.
Yeah, well, it's basically she wants to know our favorite Comic-Con moments. Scott, do you have a favorite Comic-Con moment?
You know, that is so hard. First of all, as you know, with how many shows we do, they all kind of blend into one giant show.
Yeah.
It feels like I've been at one Comic-Con that lasted 8 years. But I guess a particular moment that pops out, I think it had to do more with the after parties than the con itself. Like there was a particular moment a long time ago where, and Jake Lloyd is, he's kind of disappeared. He was the young Anakin Skywalker.
He's working on himself.
Yeah, but nobody really knows the updates because he's vanished from social media and everything else. So
which I think he needed to do.
Oh yeah, but back then I got to know him pretty well, and I got to have dinner with him and his parents, and or actually his mom and sister were there, and just had a nice dinner. It was just us, and it was really cool. That's nice. So there's like moments like that, or even Daniel Logan, I had a lot of private moments with, just where we had good conversation. This is a funny one. I'll tell this one with Daniel Logan because for those who don't know, he played young Boba Fett in episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and with that one, because I had known him, I would always say hi to him and stuff. But one time I'm walking past him, but I always think, he doesn't really know me. It's like I know who he is because I see him all the time, and he's, but does he really remember who I am?
Yeah.
And I was walking through the show floor one time, and he had a line of people. Well, I didn't want to bug him, so I just kept walking. And all of a sudden I hear him yell out like, "Oi!" He's got that.
Well, he's
accent.
New Zealand. He's
right.
Kiwi,
I'm not even going to try to do the New Zealand accent because I can't do it. But he yells out, "Scott!" And I turn back. I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You're not even going to say hi?" I'm like, "Oh, well, hello. I didn't want to bug you." But what was funny about that moment is, when I just said hello and walked away. Well, all of a sudden you see everyone around like looking at me like, is this guy famous or something? How does Daniel know him? So I had a couple of people follow me and be like, are you in anything? I'm like, well, I'm an artist. I'm set up over here. And then they didn't care anymore. But they, for a brief moment, because he called me out, they thought I was this celebrity. So that was pretty funny. How about you, Brett? Well, it's the same
thing. There's a lot of moments. A lot of it blends together. It is funny talking about celebrities you kind of make friends with. Is we've had a chance, both of us, at different times to meet people that know us here and there, and we see them over and over again. I became good friends with James Hampton and his wife Mary. Haven't seen him in a couple years. I got a card from them a while back. I joked with her because she did some acting. Nobody really knew much for her. She was the mom for Harold in the second Harold and Kumar movie. She did some soaps and stuff like that. But she pretty much manages James Hampton. He's like 81 or 82 now. So I'm not even sure if he's even getting to shows anymore. He hasn't lately anyways.
Right.
But just a wonderful couple in that. And I happened to run into him years ago in Knoxville at one of the shows I'm wandering on. That's when I used to wear a baseball jersey at all the shows that said Boomtown Press, and my last name was on the back. And he stopped me and goes, "Is that a Veda Pinson jersey?" And Veda Pinson was a ball player from way back in the day. And then he was also a coach on the Tigers back in the 80s. So that's how I knew who Veda Pinson was. I said, no. And I explained who I was. And, that's really, we talked for a while. And that's why I told him. Then I started seeing him at a bunch of shows after that and kind of became friends. And then Mary would stop by the table and see how we're doing, and got to know Mom a little bit too. But one of the best ones was, it was actually a mom story. So kind of a Comic-Con mom story. And she's told us quite a bit. It was Eric Estrada.
Yes.
And we were at the Motor City Comic-Con. He's walking around, and Mom's like, "Can I go say hi?" I was like, "Well, of course." He's walking around. You don't hit him up for an autograph. You don't hit him for a picture. You can just go and just say hi. Most of the time, they're really nice. Well, he was real nice. He thought he went to school with Mom. And so, he's going over, and
he still thinks
he does. I know. And it was funny. So he came over, and he actually took a picture with Mom. It was really cool. He goes, "Oh, yeah, we went to school together." And Mom was like, "No, I went to school here, not in California." And that's where he's from. And he didn't believe her, and still doesn't believe her to this day. Well, that night, we're out with, as Mom calls it, her Comic-Con kids. So there's a bunch of us out there. I know Sean and Steph Forney were there. I believe Josh Warner was there, and a few others. And he bought us all a round of drinks. And it was just a really cool thing that he did that, because he didn't have to. And we really enjoyed that. And he was just great all weekend with all the fans. Right. And definitely, I'd like to see him again, so Mom can go up and see him again and see if he says the same thing.
Right.
But I think he would. But we're lucky with the Comic-Cons that we have a lot of cool moments. And a lot of times, it's not just celebrities. Some of my favorite moments is when I have kids that come back to my table that bought my comic books, and they come back, "I bought this from you. Now I want to buy this one, and I want to buy this one." And they're enjoying the comics, and not just the artwork. I mean, the artwork's fun, but I love when kids love my comics. Right. Even if they buy them all that weekend and come back the next day during a show weekend and tell me how much they enjoyed them.
It just popped in my mind what my actual favorite moment was. I can't believe I didn't think of this off the top of my head. But when you were talking about the Eric Estrada, it popped in my head. It was San Diego Comic-Con. I'm sitting there drawing in my head. I'm drawing a commission, and I'm looking down, and I look up, and there's this guy standing there, and I'm like, "Oh my God, you need to cosplay as Iceman from the X-Men movies." I'm like, "You look just like the guy." And he starts laughing, and he holds up his name badge, and it's Shawn Ashmore, who played Iceman in the movies.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Well, good thing you're him, because you do look like him."
Yeah.
and we started talking, and his soon-to-be, they got married that weekend, Dana.
Yeah.
They were getting married that weekend, actually later that day, if I remember correctly. So I met Dana, his soon-to-be bride, and we talked a bit and had a really great conversation. But then I'm like, I hope you don't mind me asking, and you can say no, but my daughter, and back then she was like 10, like, you are her favorite X-Men. She thinks you're the cutest. and he laughed, and I'm like, could I take a picture of you and text it to her and say you said hi? And him and Darren are like, "Oh, we'd love to." So they get a paper and they write "Hi Ashley" on it, and they hold it up for the picture. And I text it to her, and just a couple minutes later, Ashley texts back, "OMG, I'm in Target right now, and I have the biggest smile ever." and they just got a kick that Ashley was so happy of that moment. Well, what's cool about that is later on, the following year, he comes back to my table to say hi. He asked how Ashley's doing, and I said, great, and him and Dana posed again for a picture, and we sent that to Ashley, and them saying hi. The year after, Dana came by the table, and I see her walking up. I'm like, hey, Dana, how's it going? She's like, you know me? I go, yeah, I know you. She goes, usually people only remember Sean. They never remember me. I'm like, you look far prettier than him, so of course I remembered you. So she's like, well, Sean couldn't make it down here because he's doing a panel for the following, but he wanted me to come down to say hi, and so she wrote out, hi, Ashley, from Sean and Dana, and we did. So 3 years in a row, we did this picture sending to Ashley. They were really cool people. That's awesome. I haven't seen them since. It's been years, but it was cool that they would look for me on the show floor just to say hi to Ashley. So I thought that was really cool.
Well, I think it's an awesome story. Now we have 2 more questions from Janice here.
Yes, 2 more.
So since you just did that one, why don't you ask me my question then?
I don't have it right in front of me, but I know it off the top of my head. Brett, if you had your own restaurant, what type of restaurant would it be, and what type of food would you want to serve?
Well, for the most part, I don't want to actually open up a restaurant. If I did an actual physical restaurant, it would strictly be like a dinner place, and it'd be kind of a set meal. It wouldn't be just like choose whatever you want. And I'd have so much available, and when it's gone, it's gone. Just a nice, easy restaurant. But what I really want to do, if I was going to do anything with food, I'd have to do a food truck, because I could change it up quite a bit and take it to different places. And I would do the barbecue I do. So I do my smoked mac and cheese, I do the pulled pork, and then I change up other things to go along with it. So I might do brisket one time, might do chicken another time, or whatever else, and then do different things with the meats. Like what I do at home is, like, I'll take my smoked pork and I'll mix it up with taco seasoning and make pork tacos from it. Things like that. So it's not always just the same barbecue. But I talked with Jay Brandt a while back when I brought him some smoked mac and cheese to try after him hearing me talk about it for years. And he's like, you got to do a food truck. And he goes, I'll make sure we'll get everything done. I'll help you do the labels. And I would call it Comics and Q. And it would be basically me doing my form of smoked barbecue.
Yeah. Okay, you haven't given this much thought. You already have a name picked out, too.
I told you, a food truck I would do. I thought about this. And if I had the money, if somebody wants to give me $50,000, I can do it. And the reason I call it Comics and Q is, one is I can still sell artwork and comic books, and I want to carry all my pals' independent comic books.
You know who your spokesperson would have to be?
Who's that?
Q from Star Trek.
No.
What's his name? John Larroquette?
Not Larroquette.
Wrong John. But his first name's John.
Yeah, it is John.
But
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but it's
the actor.
But it's Q, as in QUE, as barbecue. But it would call it Comics and Q.
I like it.
And it would be my version of whatever barbecue I want to do. It would have the different options available that I want to offer that day, and it would change, because I may say, okay, I'm not offering this today, I'll offer that. And I would still want to be able to sell comic books, especially. So I would carry not just mine, but I would offer the chance for any of my pals that have comic books like yours, stuff we're doing together. People like Rodney Fike, who's coming in, for his peanut pudding and jelly. I believe I'm getting it right. If I'm getting it wrong, Rodney, I'm sorry. I'm trying off the top of my head.
Check out Rodney's page.
Rodney Fike, Fyke. He's awesome. He's got some great artwork and comics. And then like Josh Warner, who does The Adventures of Mighty Moose. I would carry his. I would carry Sean Forney's. Okay, whoever would want to supply their comic books to me, I'd have to do it on, basically, send me the books, I'll sell them and send you the money back.
It's John Delancey who is the actor.
Delancey,
that's right. Thank you, Janice, for that. But I like the concept. I like the idea.
That's what I would do, and then that would be something to take around. I'd have to find out the regulations, because you can't just go anywhere.
Right. Yeah. And each state would have their own.
But it would be. I think it'd be kind of fun. And someone said, you should take it to every Comic-Con. You can just do a food truck. I'm sort of thinking, you know what? I would make more money.
You probably would.
And then I think it'd be funny. And then I'm still out there. Oh yeah, we got a deal here for $29.95. You get to get a graphic novel and a pork sandwich.
I like it.
So that's what I would do. And that's I talked about I like to cook, and I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Rodney said you got the name right.
Good. Cool. Awesome.
Cool.
And so now for Scott, though, Janice wants to know, how did you get into trooping, and what is your favorite moment when you are stormtrooping with the 501st?
Okay, I would say they both tie in together. It's with the 501st. I was a lifelong Star Wars fan. Always wanted to do a Star Wars, a high-end, screen-accurate costume. And I always knew about the 501st in conceptually, I knew about the organization, but I didn't know anything about it as far as how do you join or anything like that. And when I started doing Comic-Cons, I started getting to know the guys at various garrisons around the country. So I got to ask them, like, well, how do you join, and where do you buy the parts to build your costume, and all that kind of stuff. And they were very, 501st is very helpful when you want to join. People like giving advice as far as, oh, this is where you go, this is what you do, this is where I bought my kit. So I did that. I was able to buy the parts needed to build my Stormtrooper and started trooping. Now, the reason why I wanted to troop was because I was a fan. But then, and this is true for a lot of 501st, I can't speak for everyone, but I hear similar stories, is you do it as a fan, but then you do your first troop, and you just realize how happy you make people. And for me, it was the very first troop I did. This little girl who was like 5 years old, blonde hair. She looked just like my daughter did at that age. She saw me as a Stormtrooper, and she just put her arms out for a giant hug. And it was like, she goes, I love you. And puts her arm out for a hug, and I hugged her. And that was it. It changed from doing it because you're a fan to doing it because you realize the joy you bring to people when you do these. And whether you're 5 or you're 50, they become a 5-year-old when they see you in the armor. Even like when we do events where celebrities are there, like when we were doing Star Wars night one time, we're marching, and when you're a Stormtrooper by yourself, people like it, but when you got 50 Stormtroopers marching in formation, it's impressive. People are like, whoa. And we were marching past Miguel Cabrera, and he was doing something with his gear, and he stands up and he turns around, and just as I'm walking, I'm about 2 feet from him. I'm right next to him. Instantly, his face went from this serious, ready to play, to all of a sudden his mouth opens up and he became a 5-year-old kid, and he's just like this half awe, half smile, like look at us like, oh, like he was like amazed at us walking by him. And you get that with celebrities a lot of times, where, oh, can I get a picture with you? Which is funny. So like I had it sometimes where I negotiate, like, well, you can have a picture with me if my daughter can come get a picture with you. So I had some celebrities take pictures with Ashley when she was younger and stuff because of that. So it was really cool. So that's, you start off usually as a fan, but it quickly becomes a passion, just because, when you go visit the kids at the hospitals, for instance, it's such joy. We'll be told by the parents, like, this is the first time my child smiled in over a month. Or things like that. You hear that kind of stuff. So it's the joy you bring to people is why you continue, why we go out in 80 degree, 100 degree weather and sweat our butts off. Is because, and we don't get paid for it, So that's why.
Well, and that is the thing I think a lot of people don't realize is 501st, like even for Janice's wedding, they weren't paid.
Right. The way we operate is if anybody wants to request us at their wedding or at any other events, we cannot take money for our appearance. It's our agreement with Lucasfilm. But you can request us, and what we ask is for a donation to be made directly to a children's charity of your choice in the amount of your choice, on behalf of the 501st. And if you don't have a charity, we recommend Make-A-Wish is one that we do a lot of work with. So we'll do that. And so that's what we do it out of love. We pay for everything ourselves, for our costumes and all that. And we just ask for a donation.
It's about love and faith. But if you want Odd Musings at your wedding, Odd Musings can be at your wedding for a nice donation through our Patreon account. Patreon.com/Odd Musings. We take cash. You can pay us directly.
We're not a nonprofit.
Anything with Scott trooping, though, that is a separate event. And even if we're at the same event as Odd Musings and you would like him to troop, he can ask about that, but you still have to make a donation for him to actually put on the armor. So.
Yes. So there you have it.
Now, of course, we were the official podcast for Janice and Roy's wedding. Even though we didn't live stream because there was like no signal in the building. Well, we did the one. We had the one.
We had the one. But yes. So, but we have have another awesome sponsor to talk about, Brett.
Yes, we do.
International Minute Press.
International Minute Press, located in Plymouth, Michigan. They design, print, and promote you. They offer specialty printing services, custom graphic designs, marketing consultation, and promotional products. IMP has the services and the skills to help artists and entrepreneurs looking to take their businesses to the next level by exceeding client and customer expectations. They are located at 1058 South Main Street in Plymouth, Michigan. They do ship anywhere in the world, so you can definitely contact them and they will take care of that. And you can call them at 734-414-6203. That's 734-414-6203. Or if you need to get them online, go to oddmusings.com, click our sponsors page, and click on International Minute Press to hit them up online for anything you need.
There you go. And just a reminder today, feel free to call in, people. We're always getting people say, I would love to call in.
Yeah.
But then when we open the lines, everyone gets quiet.
I know. We got like 20 minutes left of the show, so we got a little bit of time.
So if you want to call in.
We have other topics we'll talk about, but you can even comment, like Rodney was chiming in. And if Rodney's still listening, hey, man, if you got anything you want us to talk about or a question, definitely send that to us. I know Janice sent us some fun questions today. I don't know if we've gotten any others popping up yet.
No, just that so far. But the call-in number is 248-721-8570, and I posted that in the feed again. But moving on, you got a really cool Nobel
I don't
prize story.
Follow the Nobel Prizes too much.
This is for science.
But I like the science ones, and these are what's really cool. Is they actually had one. They got a Nobel Prize in physics, and it went to with gravitational waves. It basically explained gravitational waves, something that to do with black holes that Einstein had talked about 100 years ago. Of course, hadn't proved some of his theories. So it's now we're starting to get technology to be able to find those theories. It kind of dealt with distortions in space-time, and of course, don't have any actual pictures in that. But what it says here was like around 1.3 billion years ago, in a far-flung corner of the universe, two black holes, the densest, most destructive forces known to nature, collided with each other. And then 100 years ago is when Albert Einstein talked about it too. So basically, these scientists went through and were able to prove a lot of what he talked about with the actual waves in terms of how, like when we travel, they do a sound movement, stuff like that in space. Everything's done within waves, and they were dealing with that. Not to get too much into the science, because I don't know what they're talking about. I ain't that smart. All I know is they ended up getting $1.1 million, or 9 million in Swedish kroners, and it was split between three people. Weiss was last time. One guy got half the prize, and then Thorne and Barish, they split the second half. And it had to do with, you can go online and look at all the stuff they dealt with. This is all tied around like the Big Bang Theory, not the TV show, but the actual theory. And it deals with working with gravitational waves and how that works out in space with like black holes and things
very
like
cool.
That. I thought that was pretty cool. And then another one that they had done here was three biophysicists. They were basically imaging molecules of life. So they won in the chemistry division on that. So it's getting a lot more detail on molecules, which just very tiny. So the more we can get the higher resolution to look at what those are, the more they're learning about things going on.
Cool.
So I thought that was pretty cool. A couple of those stories I saw last night, and then they're doing some other. This is like the week they do all the Nobel Prizes, so a lot of that's going to be coming out, and stuff like that. So and then. Fun story.
Very cool. Rodney sent in a question. He's asking. Let's see. What are your favorite artists current? So current artists. I think he's sending it in while he's still driving. So I'm guessing he's using the voice option.
Right. Hopefully. Be safe, Roddy. In terms of artists, I still have all my classic favorites. I go back to even Kirby and Ditko and all those guys. Mm-hmm. In terms of the current guys out there, it's a lot of, it's basically all my friends. It's all the guys I know at the Comic Cons. It's the Rodney Fikes. It's the Scott Zambellis. It's the Josh Warners. It's the Sean Forneys. Those are the guys and then when I come across different people, I happen to like something they've done. They're like Rachel Boggs. She's got a lot of cool stuff. I got a few of her pieces of artwork. Heather Creeder. I was going through some artwork the other day looking for something and came across something I bought from her years ago that I've always liked. And things like that. It's in terms of the actual comic book stuff like that. The different comics I'm reading. I like Scotty Young's Fairyland book. I Hate Fairyland, and that's been a lot of fun. I love his style. I love that cartoon stuff. And then you look at All Yacht Comics, Art Balthazar and Franco. I love their style too, and it's not always about being super realistic or being, what people think is the best. I mean, not everybody can be a Jim Lee, and I personally appreciate so many different styles and looks at. There's a lot of stuff I like, and it ends up being a lot of what my friends are doing because I just love their artwork and that. And then you see someone like Corey Smith, who's going to be out he's going to be in New York this week.
No, he's not in New York.
He's not in New York? Okay.
I thought he was. He's not.
No, I saw him I know he's going to do that. He's got a new show in Long Island in December he posted he's going to do. He's got a really cool pencil style with the way he does his stuff and different things like that. So it's a lot of cool stuff out there. That's kind of the artists I like on that. Now, yeah. Scott, what about you?
For me, there's the 3 artists pop to the top of the list right away. And I've been fortunate enough because of Comic-Cons to become friends with all of them. Listed in no particular order. I'll say Greg Horn. Love Greg Horn.
Awesome artwork, yeah.
Awesome artist, but he's also an awesome person. Love talking to him. Every time I see him, he's awesome. But really enjoy his art style, and he understands his fan base, and he does such a wonderful job. So Greg Horn. Dave Dorman. Also love watching him paint and talking to him. Great guy. He's one of the legends in my world because of his Star Wars art. And
I love Dave Dorman's work. Yeah.
He's just been an icon for so long in Star Wars. If you don't know Dave's work, check him out. Dave Dorman, Dorman. What's really cool is he's been doing a lot of live streaming lately of him painting.
Yes.
So in this day and age, myself included, so much stuff is done digitally. It's refreshing to watch someone actually paint. So you can watch his process and learn how he does it. So that's really cool. And third but not least is Chris Scalf. I got to give a shout out to his work. Just blows me away out of anybody I've ever met because he's mentored me personally. I've gotten to know him over the years. Amazing person. His family is awesome, and he's my Obi-Wan. He's taught me through the years and has shared a lot of his techniques to me. But to see, I don't think there is any artist out there who can do what Chris does with the speed and accuracy that he does. Things is just insane, and I always look up to what he does as an artist and as a person. So those are my top 3. You can check out Chris Scalf's website too. Scalf is his last name.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. I mean, there's a lot of influences out there. Larry Elmore, George Perez, everybody.
All right, Rodney has another question, but before we do that, let's give a shout out to our sponsor, Chubby Duck.
All right.
Located in the heart of Detroit, Chubby Duck Detroit is working to bring the freshest local ingredients together with a little Motown soul to create a new and sustainable food tradition that everyone can afford to enjoy. So check them out on Facebook.com/Chubby Duck Detroit to learn more about them. So, and great food. We got to eat there in person, but they also had their food in studio. Always awesome.
Yeah, and I'm still amazed how fresh it tasted when we had it. It was like an hour and a half after they had made it, too.
Correct.
So it was really cool. So Rodney had a question for us.
Yeah, his second question is, what is your go-to place to eat after a show?
Oh, see,
I think we have the same answer for this.
Well, you go ahead.
I believe both of us are. We like to find places that are local.
Yes.
Not chain restaurants, not things we could have at home.
And I will do a chain restaurant when that's what we have.
Right. And depending how good the show is.
Right.
It might be Denny's that weekend.
Oh, Denny's might be too high for. I might be looking at, a $6
Or if I'm traveling with Dominic, it's Waffle House.
Oh, yeah.
He loves taking me to Waffle House. Never had it in my life till I traveled with Dominic.
The first thing I do when we get to the city is I hit a couple of my apps on my phone. I find local flavors.
Yes.
And sometimes we just happen to find them. We notice them. Like in Denver, we're walking like, hey, there's this burger place we saw. Let's go check that out.
What was that? 5280?
5280 Burger Bar. Yeah.
Love it. And we got to meet the owner there.
Yep.
He was awesome to talk to, and we learned about why he started the restaurant he did and what.
And they are the best burgers I've had
to this day.
anywhere.
I don't think I've ever had a better burger.
Places, this is the best ever. I have it. Like, no, it's good, but this is the best. And it was so it's finding local places like that, and then going back to them year after year. And it could be a chain like down in Orlando. I like to hit Flippers, which is a local pizza place.
Oh, Flippers is legendary.
Yeah, they have calzones that I really like. They have a really good antipasta salad, and so a lot of cool stuff like that. And so it's not in every place it's different. We go to Baltimore. We found this place called Sliders, a little bar. right by the baseball stadium. It's awesome. And they have great food. They do these Baltimore tots. They have, basically it's tater tots with a cheesy crab mixture over it. But in terms of like chains, I try to find something decent. We've gone with Kevin Miner to a couple places like BJ's. You like BJ's?
Yep. We enjoy BJ's a lot for.
Yeah,
that does not sound right. Well, the restaurant named BJ's is really good. And actually, they have one. They're starting to move out into Michigan now.
Okay,
they're going to be building a location. I forget exactly
Is it
where.
Troy or something like that.
Something like that. I remember an announcement.
Yeah, so. I know there's one in. I might hit one in Fort Wayne when I'm down there for the Fort Wayne Fantastic Con, and then I know we went to another place in downtown Indiana with him that was really good. It was like Ram Bar or something like that, or I don't know. It was a really good little local place there, but it felt almost a little bit Cheney-ian, but not too bad. The food was really excellent, though.
And we also enjoy finding breakfast places.
Yes, I love a good breakfast place. Like, even like locally around here, the one that
the Breakfast Club.
Yeah,
we travel so much. Like Salt Lake City, for instance, has a wonderful breakfast place we would eat at. It's this French bakery / restaurant, and I'm blanking on the name. Me and Eric Hodson went there. Loved it. Eric goes there every year now when he goes to Salt Lake City, and I go to all these places and they have these awesome breakfast places. I'm like, why isn't there awesome breakfast places near me? And we
found one.
The
Kevin Miner.
Club.
Yeah.
And absolutely love it. And they got one here locally, which is
they got like
13 in John R.
Yeah, they got like 3 or 4 locations.
And I took my daughter there recently. She absolutely loved it there. So I'm so glad I have a local breakfast place because so many breakfast places, while I enjoy almost everywhere I go, it's the same stuff.
Right.
But they have very unique.
So it was like Vegas. We went to Hash House A Go-Go, and
that was crazy.
Great food and for breakfast.
They have pancakes the size of a car wheel.
Yeah, there's like they have excellent looking chicken waffles. Waffles are good for sure. I haven't tried the chicken, but it looked good.
Yeah, it was stacked like 18 inches tall with a giant knife down the center holding it all together. The chicken and waffles.
Yeah, you can't beat it. So I like finding I now also have an app I use. It's TV Food Maps, and we don't get paid to promote them, but I popped on for the diners, drive-ins, and dive places. I've ate probably about 30 or so different places, and everyone I've ate at I've really enjoyed. And I like finding those little local flavors wherever we're at around the country. And that's what makes part of the traveling a little fun is hitting a cool restaurant. I can hit Chili's, pretty much anywhere. I can hit an Applebee's just about anywhere. Subway's everywhere, McDonald's, all the fast food. I try to avoid those when doing the shows and get something local that I know I'm not going to be able to get anywhere else.
With all the travels we do, it made me really realize just how heavy we are with chain restaurants.
Yes.
It's like there's not many standout unique ones, I don't think. Like what are we known for? Coney Islands.
Well, Michigan is known for the Coney Islands,
which I love eating at Coney's. I think everywhere.
I think everywhere, not just Michigan, but everywhere. The real cultural revolution in food is all the local places that just the locals go to, and that you find and here and there that aren't well known.
Like Vegas, for instance. Matt.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He took us to that great barbecue place.
Delicious.
Way off the strip. It was awesome.
Yep.
And we went to.
There was another place he took us to that was really good.
Yeah, I know he took us
to the Thai restaurant. Le Thai.
Oh yeah,
Le Thai.
It was just off, and this one's right off of Fremont Street. It's like right before you enter the Fremont Experience, near where they have that Heart Attack Cafe.
Yes,
kitty corner from that is like a whole little strip mall.
Yeah. It's also near the Detroit Casino.
Not too far from there. Yeah, and it's all before you get into the main experience. And there's a Thai place. It's the one there. Kitty corner from that was the Big Giant Shoe. That's a neon sign.
Yeah,
I would go there again anytime. That food was awesome. And that's all
right, let's give another shout out to our last but not least sponsor of the day. T-24 is a creator of unique pop culture t-shirts and vinyl decals. At T-24.com you'll find over 140 graphic tees and hundreds of vinyl decals based on your favorite movies, TV shows, comic books, and video games. We need some periods in that sentence.
Yes.
I run out of breath halfway through. So go to their website at www.t-24.com. That's TEEMINUS24.com. Check out their fun selection of products, and after you find something you like, use coupon code ODD at checkout and get 10% off your entire order. You can also follow T-24 on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, where they post about their latest designs and share updates from conventions they attend. Shirts to fit your fandom. Christmas is right around the corner. There's there's only like 5 paydays left if you're paid every other week.
Yep.
If you don't know what to get someone you love, go there.
Start ordering now and use that code ODD, ODD.
Today I'm wearing my I Am Groot t-shirt from them.
I got the Cantina Royale on again this week.
Yep.
And
There's a really good artist who did this Groot t-shirt.
Yes.
His name is Scott Zambelli. So you can check him out on The Art of Scott on Facebook.
they've got some new designs they put up. I know Lisa's been doing a few new ones, and I know they're getting around from different shows. They were in Baltimore the other week, and we'll see them in Akron at the beginning of November. I'm looking forward to that. I haven't seen them in a while, so missing my friends, and look forward to seeing them on that. So.
Quick follow-up with Rodney. And for those listeners, we still have, actually, we're going to be chiming out here, so don't call in because we're running out of time. But Rodney chimed in too. Luminati's Pizza in Chicago, very delicious. I've eaten there too. Giordano's was another one out there, which is coming to Detroit. They're building a location there. So,
but you know what? I've been a fan. I've had Giordano's. It's good pizza. Mm-hmm. I really like here in Detroit. We have Pizzapopolis, and I feel their pizza, as Chicago-style pizza, is a lot better.
That's I like down in Greektown.
They have one in Greektown. They have one in Dearborn, and I know they got another location, a couple other places.
I really like Giordano's because it's so unique in that it's actually a pizza pie.
Yeah, well,
they got.
Have you been
crust.
to Pizzapopolis?
I have. It's been a little bit.
Okay, it's done basically the same way, and then they both have their.
They got the crust on the top too.
They have the sauce on the top. So
So what Giordano's does is they got the crust on the bottom, tons of fillings. Then they do a crust again, and then they put the sauce on top of the upper crust.
That's true. They do that.
So they do it more like a pie.
Yeah,
which is really good. But Luminati's is awesome also in Chicago. So very good stuff. And
they said something about Cincinnati. Skyline Chili. Yes, Cincinnati's known for their chili. They got Skyline and then Gold Star.
Yeah,
and they have a unique style to their chili. They have a little more of a cinnamon taste to it because they use cinnamon in a lot of their chilies.
So time's getting short here, so we're going to have to table to talk on the new TV shows. Maybe next week we'll talk more about The Gifted.
Yeah, we can say the second episode and
stuff like that. As far as this upcoming week goes, I'm still running. I've got the marathon coming up in a little less than 2 weeks now.
Now there's a website that our listeners can donate to.
Yeah, I'm running for a charity. Yep, I'm running for a charity. If you go to I linked my domain right to it, so it's easier. So if you go to www.theartofscott.com, that'll take you right to my CrowdRise page. Mm-hmm. You can read about the charity there and donate. I'm trying to raise $1,000 for that charity. So anything you feel led to give, I'd appreciate it. And then, how about you, Brett? You got tell people how to find you online.
They can find me it's easy, BrettPinson.com, BrettPinson.com. I have links on there to my artwork, comics, as well as to my Facebook fan site.
Yep, so people can buy through there if they want to do gifts for Christmas or anything else.
Yep.
And then I also have Facebook.com/TheArtOfScott or The Art of Scott Zambelli. If you look either way, you'll find me. Mm-hmm. I'm also open for commissions also.
And so am I.
Yep, so we're both doing that.
If you're thinking of for Christmas, you guys want to get those commissions in soon because you take a little time. We're going to make sure you get them in time for Christmas.
Yeah, definitely. So anything else, Brett?
This next week's kind of a light week for me. I'll be seeing the new Blade Runner tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah, Blade Runner. Brett's going to be doing, he'll be posting a video.
Yep, I'll do a video on that afterwards. And then Scott will be hosting by himself the Following the Orville, our new YouTube show.
Yep.
Takes place right after the Orville airs on Thursday nights off of Fox.
Yep, so I'll be doing that this week.
That starts at 10 p.m. for Following the Orville.
Probably 10:10.
Probably 10:10 by the time it gets going. So
by the time I figure out how to get the live stream going.
Because I won't be out of the movie in time to join them on that.
Right.
And then the rest of this week for me is I'm working on my current book, as well as writing some stuff also for our books, and then getting things out from there. So it's kind of a work week at home for me, a little bit of fun of seeing a movie in that. And other than that, not much else going on this week.
Well, we want to thank Jay for filling in for Dominic today and being part of the show.
Yeah, nice to be here with you guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, until next time, don't forget, I'm Brett.
And I'm Scott.
And we'll see you guys next time live here at Odd Musings. Jay, take us out.